Hey guys, Volligar here, back again with another review, and today we'll be taking a look at the Horsemen Studios Mythic Legions All-Stars 3.0 Baron Volligar. So without further ado, let's get into it. Alrighty guys, as I said before, today we're taking a look at Baron Volligar. He is part of the Mythic Legions All-Stars 3.0 wave, which is currently shipping now. I just got mine last week, almost a week ago now. So I've had some time to kind of delve into these, check them out before I film these reviews so I don't look like a complete fool in front of the camera. Which probably still going to happen, but that goes without saying at this point, doesn't it? But I wanted to start with this guy because, well, he may actually be my favorite in the wave. And before I get into aesthetics and articulation, I wanted to mention we will be starting these videos off with the figures as they come out of the packaging. So they're stripped down, a little bit easy to maneuver around and whatnot because they do not have all of their accoutrements. So with that being said, let's kick things off with the aesthetics and articulation, shall we? Looks pretty killer, man. I really like this figure. Again, he's probably my favorite in the wave, even though he is fairly basic. I mean, he's a Black Knight with a tunic, but that's ticking all the boxes for this guy. It's got a little dragon on his helmet, which you can pop off. It's just got a little peg. Comes attached in the packaging, so that's nice. And unlike the first one of these I got, which I believe was with Bromden Ironjaw, the dwarf king there, he had an alternate head with this little dragon guy on it. That one was really, really tight. They've loosened him up a little bit since then, so that's nice. At least on mine. Other thing he's got going on is this gorget with the large spikes sticking out from the bottom. Looks kind of like vampire teeth. He is part of Ilithia's brood, so he is a vampire. And actually, if you pre-ordered the last wave, the Ilithia wave, which actually ended a couple of weeks ago now, you will be getting a variant of this guy with an unmasked head with a big old gnarly scar across it, so that'll be cool. But yeah, one of the more basic vampire characters, although I did find a remedy for that if you wanted to do a bit of a head swap. Stay tuned to the end of the video for that. Looking at this tunic here, he's got kind of a King Diamond logo going on. Those of you who are metalheads from the 1980s know what I'm talking about. It's literally like two little curves away from being the King Diamond logo, so that is pretty sick. I do like that quite a bit. He's got the ports on the back for the back adapter and the shoulder pads. They do not come with the back adapter pieces this time around, thank God, because I have a bag of those I don't use. But you know, if you wanted to use them, maybe give him some wings or mount a shield on his back, although I'm not really sure if you can mount his shield on his back with those, but you could try, I guess. And then I also like the kind of dark gunmetal color throughout the armor, the chainmail, and whatnot, the plating, mixed with this awesome, nice matte black. It looks really slick. And also, one thing to note is his kind of crotch towel piece here, which you can unpeg and remove to put him on a horse, is a lot softer this time around, whereas on Brother Mandibulus was a lot stiffer. Those of you who watch these videos know he's in literally almost every video. So he is in every video. He's at the end of the intros now. But articulation on this guy, his head will rotate. It'll look up a little bit, down a little bit, tilt side to side. shoulders go out to the side pretty far. Back down. Rotate forward and back. Single joint at the elbow. Swivel at the elbow. Swivel at the wrist. Was there a hair on mine? That was weird. Swivel at the gauntlet, I mean. Swivel at the wrist. Hair threw me off. Hinge at the wrist. Ball joint in the torso so he can crunch forward a little bit. Back a little bit. Tilt side to side ever so slightly and rotate. His hips can kick out to the side. Woo. Easy there. Better than Spider-Man. And this guy's a big old bulky dude in armor, so not sure what the heck's up with that. The side skirt pieces do move out the way. We're going to see these pieces more than once in this wave. Thigh cut. His legs move forward and back. His crotch towel does actually move out of the way pretty easily. But what I found, it's a little trick I've done. If you bring the leg forward like that, you can pinch it behind the thigh cut if you wanted to. Raise his leg up and leave this piece on. He's got a swivel at the knee, hinge at the knee. Goes just about past 90, so that's not too bad. Swivel at the foot, hinge at the foot, as well as a rocker. So he's got ball hinges, so that's cool. And then he's got peg holes at the bottom of his feet for a display stand, if you wanted to do that. I assume it's the standard size, probably fits on the McFarlane bases and whatnot. Also, I will say, I think this is my favorite Knight's helmet. I've had the more pointed one and the one that comes with Lord Viteris that's got the side ports for horns and plume on the top, which this guy doesn't come with any interchangeable pieces for this top part there, although I would probably keep that same regardless. Actually, wait, no, I got the Vorgus Vermilius helmet, kind of fully covered one with the ports for the horns on the sides as well. That one and this one, probably my favorites. And is it just me, or is this maybe an ode to, or an homage to Vlad the Impaler, who was known as Son of the Dragon? It was also the inspiration of Dracula. I mean, he's a vampire with a dragon on his helmet. I'm probably just overthinking stuff, though. So, with that being said, though, that pretty much covers the basics on this guy. So, that being said, let's move on to the accessories. Moving on to the accessories, Baron Volligar comes with a pretty decent spread, all things considered. Albeit, most of his accessories consist of a giant pole, but we'll get into that. So, starting off with the most boring accessory, comes with the belt. All the figures come with a belt. It's got the little slit for the sword there. And speaking of which, he does come with the kind of long sword, the pointed hilt. Standard stuff for legions. And you could take this and sheath it in there. I will say it would be nice to get some sword sheaths for legions eventually, so they're not just poking themselves, but there you go. Next up, he's got the 2 shoulder pauldrons, and like some of the armor bits on Volligar, we're going to be seeing these a lot throughout the wave. They do recycle the crap out of these, in this wave in particular. But they are my favorite shoulder pad designs, so I'm got nothing against that. Got the nice matte black with the kind of gunmetal gray silver. There's a bit of an outline to it. Would have been nice to see some purple maybe thrown in here, but there you go. It's got the peg also. We're going in the pegs on his back. Peg holes, I should say. Next up, he's got the shield, which is the more Templar Knight shaped shield with a peg on the back. It's also got that kind of King Diamond logo on the front. And unfortunately, I'm not sure why they did this, But he comes with a shield clip this time around instead of the shield handle. And what you can do with this, you can peg it into there. It's easy enough to peg in at least, but this clip is too small for the arm on the figure, and it's just going to fall off. Or if, you push it on there and you break it, I guess it's bigger then, but, or big enough, I should say. But for Horsemen, I love you, but these shield clips suck. Never use these. These are terrible. And I know these are supposed to be reissues too. I'm going to go on a bit of a tangent here. These are reissues, but so was Pixis. And he was in the last All-Stars wave. He had a handle, the gold shield handle. And I can't speak for the Templar Knight, but I believe he had the handle as well. So why they went back to the clips, I don't really know. These only actually fit on that Templar Knight style of gauntlet, the more flat, smooth gauntlet, not the one with the big old gnarly spikes sticking out of it. So, yeah, that's about my only gripe with this figure, is the shield clip pretty much keeps him from utilizing the shield. But luckily, I do have the shield handle from Thwick, so I can at least take pictures for the URLs and whatnot. So, yeah. Kinda sucks. I don't have a second one, so Torion's screwed. Spoiler alert. But last and certainly not least, he's got this big old standard, also sporting that kind of King Diamond looking logo. I assume this is supposed to be the Ilithia's Brood logo, but kind of a simplified version of it. Right? And on the back, it's got the pole kind of painted up there. It's got some wings at the top. Lots of decorative bits and whatnot. But also, it's got this pole here, which is in two parts. All you gotta do is peg them together like this. I will say, there is a nice tight spot there. That's got a little ball on the end. Then a peg here. And you can peg it into the standard, and this thing is freaking long, man. It's really tall. I'll show it off during size comparisons, but he can't really hold this thing that well. And to my understanding, these are supposed to be held by some kind of elite type guys who ride on horses into battle to kind of show that, hey, the army's coming, your days are numbered. So I will show that off during the size comparisons, just because it is so freaking massive. But with that being said, actually, let's take a look at some size comparisons. And actually, before we take a look at some size comparisons, here is the Baron all geared up with his sword and shield and shoulder pauldrons, which you can see peg right into those ports on the back there. Give you a quick 360 of what he looks like with all of his accoutrements, because it is pretty freaking sweet, if I do say so myself. And actually, again, he is using the shield handle that I had left over from, again, I think Thwick, the little goblin crossbow there. But with that being said, now let's take a look at some size comparisons. Taking a look at some size comparisons, here's Baron Volligar next to a couple other members of Ilithia's Brood utilizing the 1.0 style body. We got Vorgus Vermilius on the left and Carpathius on the right. And just to give you an idea of how big that giant flagpole is, here you go. It's pretty tall. I mean, it's barely even on screen. So, yeah, if that doesn't say it's tall, I don't know what does. Up next here, he is next to a couple other members of Ilithia's Brood, this time utilizing the 2.0 style body. Got the Vampire Knight Legion Builder on the left and Lucretia on the right, who I believe is Volligar's daughter in the Mythic Legion's mythos, if I'm not mistaken. And last but certainly not least, got our two regulars. Got Brother Mandibulus on the left and the Mortal Kombat 11 Spawn on the right. So with that being said, time to wrap things up with some final thoughts. Overall, and this may come as a surprise to some of you, but I think this may be my favorite figure from this wave. And I know we're just starting to delve into these as far as video reviews go, but I gotta be honest with you, I really like this figure. Yeah, his overall character design is pretty simple and straightforward, but it just works for me. I don't know why. I just like the gunmetal and matte black of the armor, as well as the tunic with, again, that very vibrant King Diamond-esque symbol, all the way up to that bucket-style helmet with the dragon on top, and, you know, the standard sword and shield that we're used to seeing with this line. I don't know why, it just works for me. And while I do wish he did come with a alternate vampire head, unhelmeted head, whatever you want to call it, we are getting that in the Alithia wave with the Baron Volligar 2 figure. And if you are content with that version of the character, by all means you could probably give this one a pass. Although I don't think you should sleep on this guy, because I think he's a really cool release. That, and I do wish he also came with another weapon, maybe a spear, or a pike, or a short sword, a dagger, knife, something. Because while I do like the standard flagpole thing he comes with, it's not very practical for my display at least. And to be honest, I think it's best used with a character that's on horseback. And while we are kind of getting that in the Alithia Wave 2 with, what's his name, Phobos? That's Alithia's horse to me, and that's how it's going to stay. You can buy multiples to use him as an army builder, but that's just not something I am doing. But with that being said, I would highly recommend you check this guy out, because even if you're not going to use him as Baron Volligar, I think he'd make a pretty sweet Legion builder. It's kind of like an elite vampire knight or a general of some kind. So with that being said, I hope you guys enjoyed this review. Don't forget to like this video, hit that subscribe button and the notification bell so you know whenever I upload more reviews like this one. We're going to be doing the rest of All-Stars this week, and tomorrow we'll be taking a look at Taurion. So stay tuned for that. And also, don't forget to leave a comment in the comment section below. Let me know what you think of this guy, whether you like this one or Baron Volligar 2, or if you're going to pick this guy up and use him as a Legion builder or as some kind of general, because I think that's what I'm going to be doing. And remember, keep the comments civil, because the world sucks enough as it is. And before I let you go, I'm going to show you that alternate head option I promised at the beginning of the video. So hold on just one sec. And as promised, here is that alternate head option I mentioned. This is the fully unhelmeted head that came with the Vampire Knight Legion builder, which I think you can still pick up for a relatively reasonable price nowadays. But giving you a 360 of how that looks. It does stick out a little bit on the back. There's a bit of gapping there, but I may not have it down all the way. It does take quite a bit of heat to get this thing soft enough to fit on that ball peg, because it is made for the 2.0 style body, which is a lot smaller than this guy, who was a 1.0 style body. But the Vampire Knight Legion builder came with 3 heads. This one, a partially covered head, and then the fully masked helmeted head. I think this one works the best with this figure, and it's probably the easiest to attempt to get on there, because I believe it's the softest of the 3 as far as what it was made out of. But if you could get this head on here, you can add a little bit more to this figure. The helmeted head still is cool, but you know, if you have this head on him, you can always have him holding this if you want. So yeah, I figured I'd just share that at the end of the video in case anyone wanted to maybe spruce up this figure a little bit. So with that being said, until next time, I'll catch you guys later.